Hey guys! Welcome back to my channel. Feeling very seasonal today, so I thought I would make a video about my reading list for this fall. Kind of got it at a different angle so that you can't see the fact that I've pulled a bunch of books off my bookshelf because I'm really hoping that this fall I can read some of the physical books that I've built up. Summer got a lot of good audio and e-reading done and have neglected these bad boys on my shelf. I'm just really going to be excited to do a cozy activity. I love, curling up, wrapped up in a blanket, cup of coffee, a good book. I'm that basic. First up, I have the His Dark Materials series by Pullman. Check out that glare. Fancy. I've had this box set since I was a little kid, and this is actually going to be a reread for the most part because I've read The Golden Compass and The Subtle Knife like 15 times probably. I just finished rereading The Golden Compass. I haven't read these books since I was like 14, maybe. That might even be old because I really liked them in elementary school. And you can see just how worn out these spines are, not very well taken care of. But I have started rereading The Subtle Knife, and I don't think I ever exactly finished The Amber Spyglass when I was a kid. So yeah, I'm really excited to revisit this series. Not a huge fantasy person, as I think I've stated in another video, but this world is really accessible, and I think that Pullman does just a really great job of world building as you go along. Obviously these books were accessible enough to me as a kid that I understand them now, so I hope to finish the series in the next month or so. I'll do this one next because I've already started it and I'm halfway through. This is Exciting Times by See, I looked up how to say this author's name and now I feel bad, but I know it's Irish, and the way it's spelled, I keep thinking like Saoirse and putting the sound into it, so then whenever I try to say it, I just end up being like Nora, and it's like, no, that's my name, and I certainly did not write this. Yeah, this was a recommendation from Uncarly's channel. She says that she really likes to read kind of meandering, no plot books, and I kind of like that too. I don't know, reading this, like I said, I don't want to spoil it because I might do a video reviewing it because I'm kind of having some feelings about it. I almost wonder if my taste has changed a little bit and if this isn't quite my speed anymore. I am liking it more as it goes along, so it might just have been one of the characters. We'll talk about it. Yeah, I mean, this is fine so far, and it's definitely very fall-y, and just very, oh, you need to read something just to pass the time. A great book for that. This one, guys, I am so excited about. I picked this up at a bookstore shopping with my friend Sydney, and we both have copies, and so does one of our other friends, and so I think we're all gonna maybe try to time it where we're reading it together. But this is The Power by Naomi Alderman, and let me just read you the description because that's kind of all I know about it. All over the world, women are discovering they have the power. With a flick of the fingers, they can inflict terrible pain, even death. Suddenly every man on the planet finds they've lost control. The day of the girls has arrived. But where will it end? So excited, and look at this cover. Isn't that beautiful? It's like, I don't know, it strikes me as very propaganda-y, and so I have a feeling this might be a little bit political. Something tells me, and I think I'm gonna like that. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I've been wanting to read this for several weeks, ever since I picked it up, so this is definitely very high on my list. Let's talk about nonfiction. I've been reading a lot of nonfiction lately, and I'm kind of loving it. And I'm kind of loving it for fall. I feel like not much is going to be happening in my life in the fall, so it's kind of nice to step into something that's real, to center and ground, and escape the seasonal depression. So I have two nonfiction reads picked out. The first one is In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. I know what you're thinking. Bright and happy read. But I've never read anything by Truman Capote, and I know that that's a great blind spot in my love of literature. I'm basic. I like to listen to true crime podcasts and learn about these cases, so I think I'm gonna like this, and if not, then I will be excited to read something else by Mr. Capote, but this is definitely on the list. The next nonfiction read can get a little bit Halloween-y, maybe, perhaps. It's called Spook. Science Tackles the Afterlife, and it's by Mary Roach, and it's basically like a bunch of different, it's kind of like a scientific, more like compilation of all these different cases that talk about paranormal occurrences and like what happens to our soul after we die. It says it talks to scientists, schemers, engineers, mediums, and they're all trying to prove or disprove that life continues after we die. So I'm really excited for this, and also exploring more topics like this. I just finished a book about psychedelics called How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan, and it's kind of been like the only thing I can think about lately, because it just talks a lot about consciousness and life and the soul. And so if anyone has any recommendations for books that explore those things, especially nonfiction and science-y books, I'm very interested. This next book, with the exception of Exciting Times, is probably the book that looks most fall-like, and that's The Miseducation of Cameron Post. I bought this several months ago, like at the beginning of the year, and I intended to read it for Pride Month, but June was not a good reading month for me, if I recall correctly. I think I only read like 5 books. I am really excited for it. I've wanted to watch the movie for a long time, but I'm definitely a book before movie person. So this is one that I'm really hoping gets me in the sad boy mood that I require of my fall reads. And then I can watch the movie and get even more sad boy. And the reason I know it's going to make me sad is because on the back, the opening description of this book is, when Cameron's Post parents die suddenly in a car crash, her shocking first thought is relief. Relief they'll never know that hours earlier she had been kissing a girl. So it's gonna be gay, it's gonna be sad, it's going to deal with trauma and grief and coming of age and probably found family, and I love all these tropes, and I'm having a hard time like talking about all these books because they're all books I've been looking forward to for so long. I'm like, this one's definitely the next one I'm going to read, but I guess it's just gonna come down to what I'm in the mood for. And while we're on the subject of books I didn't get to in June for Pride Month that I bought specifically for Pride Month, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I've heard so many good things about this book. Obviously everyone has, raved about it. I do not know anything about it except that it is romantic and sad. And me too. That is just about the most accurate way I can describe myself. Yeah, I'm just excited to find out what this is about and to read this beautiful writing that I've heard so many people talk about. And the sequel is coming out, so I want to read it before then to see if it's something I can get into. Sometimes my opinions of books do not necessarily align with how popular they are, but sometimes they do. So we'll just see. We'll find out together. It'll be a great journey. The only other book I wanted to talk about, which might end up being a winter read because I put in a hold for it and it's several weeks out at the library, but it's All's Well by Mona Awad. If you know me, you know that Bunny was my favorite book from the first half of the year when I did the first half of my, like a fantasy football bracket. And I love the concept for All's Well. If I'm not mistaken, it's about a theater teacher who has chronic pain and is trying to put on a production of All's Well That Ends Well, but her students start like revolting because they want to do a different Shakespeare play. And just based on how much I liked Bunny and the style of writing, I feel like I'm really going to be into that because I love theater and I love Shakespeare. And also, I think that at this point, anything Mona Awad puts out is going to be on my to-read list right away. It's definitely a highly anticipated book for me, and I'm hoping it doesn't actually take 13 weeks for me to get it. Okay guys, well that's all from me today. Sorry for the delay in this video. I've been trying to post on Saturdays, but just kind of had a tough end of my week. I will try to do maybe some kind of review, reading vlog for next week, talk about some recent favorites because I've had some really good books that I've read recently. If you have anything you want to see me talk about, any recommendations for fall, your favorite fall books, your most anticipated reads, I'd love to hear it. I love talking to you guys and hearing about what you like. Like and subscribe to this video for more, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye!